Attention viewers, for maximum enjoyment of tonight's episode of The Roast, please be aware that in New South Wales, drink fountains are referred to as bubblers. They're also called bubblers in the US states of Wisconsin and Rhode Island. Enjoy the show.
Tonight on The Roast, we offer you the first of our leadership profiles and examine the Coalition's refusal to release its costings. But first, Mark Humphries is going to turn up the volume on your TV set without you even touching the remote.
Prime Minister Kevin Rudd appeared on ABC's Q&A program last night to field questions from voters who want to know what Mr Rudd is going to do right now about their very specific personal set of circumstances. Tony Jones had questions as well.
So what was the biggest mistake you've made since you became Prime Minister again?
It's been too short a time to make another mistake, I think.
I can think of one. How about telling everyone that Treasury and the Parliamentary Budget Office had found a $10 billion hole in the Coalition's savings when they'd done nothing of the sort? I can think of one. How about when you said that 70% of people sent to Nauru under Howard's Pacific solution ended up being settled here when it was only 40%? I can think of one. How about turning up on Q&A and saying that you haven't made a mistake? Mr Rudd was also asked about milk.
Given your exposure to dairy farming in your early life,
it's hard work.
It is hard work, 365 days of the year.
And when the cows start talking back to you, you've been there too long.
That was either some charming country witticism or a serious admission of mental illness. Either way, the Daily Telegraph will run it as smug shit thinks he's Dr. Dolittle. But the actual headline-making moment came when a Christian pastor tossed the PM a giant softball about same-sex marriage.
And I'm just curious for you, Kevin, if you call yourself a Christian, why don't you believe the words of Jesus in the Bible?
Alley-oop!
Well, mate, if I was going to have that view, the Bible also says that slavery is a natural condition.
Boom shakalaka. But not everyone can watch Q&A, so Channel 9's Big Brother invited election candidates to make campaign messages for those f***wits stuck in a house. The show's executive producer whinged, of the 4 videos we received, the only one that is not personalised is Rudd's. You mean the Prime Minister of Australia, in the political fight of his life, didn't set aside time in his schedule to make a video for a dozen fame whores on a reality TV show? Governor General Quentin Bryce dismissed that man. Incidentally, it's the first time in the world a Big Brother franchise has had to deal with an election. So Big Brother viewers will have a big decision to make this week. Do they vote out Rudd or the Sugar Sisters? And opposition leader Tony Abbott appeared on ABC's 7:30 last night, where host Lee Sales critiqued his baddies versus baddies description of the Syrian conflict.
Do you mean specifically the Free Syrian Army of being the group that's of concern, or do you mean more the sort of political aspects of the Syrian opposition, like the National Coalition and the Syrian National Council?
He means the baddies, Lee. How much more simply does the man have to put it? OK, Lee, imagine that Syria is a shop.
We have to be very careful because if we break something, we own it.
It's true, I've seen the sign. So maybe leave your school bag outside before you bomb the crap out of Syria. And Tony took one last opportunity to simplify this election for the viewers at home.
And Lee, just one final message, if I may. Elect the coalition government on Saturday. We'll build a stronger economy so that everyone can get ahead. We'll scrap the carbon tax, end the waste.
Yeah. Stop the boats, chocolate milk and the bubblers. We know. For The Roast, I'm Mark Humphries.
Thanks, Mark. Well, with just 4 sleeps left until Election Day, and as we approach the finish line like a depressed horse with just one leg screaming, "Shoot me now, for God's sake, just make it end! Why did you even put a saddle on me and make me go through this? You're the animals!" We are proud to present the first of our It's Almost Over election specials. Every night from now until Friday, we'll be providing you with some handy leadership profiles and how to vote guides, beginning tonight with the leader of the opposition.
Tony Abbott. Coalition leader, devout Catholic and full-time brother of a political convenience. A man of immovable conviction. A man who takes pride in his family. A man who looks like a bunch of clay thrown at a skeleton. But will this man be Prime Minister? Well, yeah, probably. We've known that for weeks. But tonight, we take a look at the life and work of Tony Abbott. Quite likely the next Prime Minister, and I can't believe I just said that. Born in England in 1957, Anthony John Abbott and his family came to Australia when they participated in an assisted passage migration scheme, which involved them travelling to these shores by boat. Boat people, if you will. I'll let you make the connection. From an early age, Tony's mother Faye knew her boy was destined for greatness, predicting he would become either Pope or Prime Minister, representing the two lamest jobs a young boy could ever dream to have. Tony cut his political teeth on the University of Sydney's Student Representative Council, becoming infamous for his anti-communism, anti-unionism and pro-punching policies, always inside the ring. He did also briefly consider the priesthood, but abandoned those plans, having come to the realization that sex is awesome. In 1994, he joined the sexy world of federal parliament, with Abbott describing himself as the political love child of John Howard and Bronwyn Bishop, which I hope is just a snappy line and that those two didn't really hump. Abbott quickly became known as the Mad Monk and John Howard's attack dog, joining cabinet and then becoming leader of the Liberal Party in 2009, when he defeated Malcolm Turnbull in a leadership spill by just one vote, which goes to show, kids, always vote for yourself. As leader, Abbott has become infamous as a passionate advocate for the policy the opposite of what you just said, and he also seems to have countered the numerous claims of misogyny and sexism lodged against him by introducing the Australian public to the female members of his family. A move that cleverly highlights the fact that Abbott is happy to be associated with women so long as he's having sex with them or they are a product of that sex. Which brings us to now, where according to current polls, Tony Abbott looks likely to become the 28th Prime Minister of Australia, leaving in his wake not the people he's beaten, but rather the people who failed to beat him. And I can't believe I just said that. For The Roast, I'm Nick Richardson. Oh, and before you accuse us of pro-Labor bias, don't worry, I'm going to shit on Rudd tomorrow.
Thanks, Nick. Well, finally tonight, despite the election being this Saturday, the Coalition has still not released its budget costings. And Labor Finance Minister Penny Wong was quick to jump on that, slamming the Coalition for doing exactly what Labor did in the 2007 election when it waited until the Friday before polling day to release its costings. Still, as Tony Abbott explained,
and I'm very happy to submit myself to the judgment of the people on the subject of trust.
Okay, but we've already seen you, Tony. We've judged you. Now we want to judge your policies and find out how much they cost. See, that's how the system works. The parties approach the Treasury or the Parliamentary Budget Office with their policies. They then cost them. Then both parties should release those costings so that we know what we're voting for.
Very well, Labour Party. I've costed your policies.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll release this information straight away.
Oh, good boy. Have a coloured, sweetie. And Liberal Party, I've costed your policies also.
Oh, thanks.
You are going to release them, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I worked very hard on those.
No, I know. I'll definitely release my costings right away.
Only politicians who have released their costings may have a coloured sweetie. You know, if he doesn't find the cartoon stiffy I drew on page 14, I'll know he hasn't read it properly.
Still, maybe holding back releasing the Coalition's budget costings until Thursday is a smart move, because come Wednesday at midnight, it becomes illegal for political parties to broadcast political ads until the election, meaning that Labor will be unable to critique the Coalition's costings in digestible fear-mongering attack ads.
I'm a single mother with 2 children. What will happen to me, Mr. Abbott?
Tony Abbott is going to ruin your life. He says you should try.
And with that media blackout and Labor lagging in the polls, Kevin Rudd will need to think of another way to scare Australia about Tony Abbott, and quickly.
Hello?
Hi, we're from the Australian Labor Party.
Yes, can we have a minute of your time?
Yeah, sure.
I'm a single mother with 2 kids. What will happen to me, Mr. Abbott?
Tony Abbott is going to ruin your life. He says you should trust him. Would you trust this face? And one time Tony Abbott said...
I made a statement in a radio interview in February, and then I think in March, I made a commitment to paid parental leave. Now, which was the opposite of what you'd said.
He's such a bad opposition leader, he even opposes himself. Tony Abbott is a liar. Vote 1, liar.
Ken.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway, that's all the time we have tonight, so... Oh, I didn't realise we had a doorbell. I'd best get that. Good night.
Hi, we're from the Australian Labor Party.
Yes, can we have a minute of your time? I'm a single mother with 2 kids. What will happen to me, Mr. Abbott?
Tony Abbott is going to ruin your life. He says you should trust him. Would you trust this face? And one time Tony Abbott said,